Hi guys, it's OtaconAlonsus here from SimplyFifa with a new series where we do Ultimate Team Formation reviews, and I use the term we in this case here because I won't be the only one doing these reviews. A couple of more guys from SimplyFifa will be doing other random formations as well in the next coming videos. I just have the privilege of going first, and today I'll be talking about the 4-2-3-1 formation, just basically giving my opinions and thoughts on it. And right off the bat here, I will say I've never been a fan of the single striker formation as I'm not that good in holding the ball with my striker until support arrives for him, and that was really my main concern when I was trying this out, and that my main striker will be isolated after time. But my assumptions were not entirely correct, as we will see why as we go into more detail about the 4-2-3-1 formation here. Straight from kickoff here, you can see one of the major characteristics of this formation is the two holding defensive midfielders who sit right in front of the back four and protect your back defensive line. What I can say is you kind of need one defensive mid who's good in tackling and tracking back, and one who's a decent pass master. If you can get all these traits from the two, then obviously that's a plus for you. But what I will say is you won't find a lot of pacey defensive midfielders with all these qualities in one. Most of them are kind of a bit on the slow to average side. I'm not saying they're too slow, but well, in this case it's not all about pace now, is it? Next thing I'm going to touch on here is the center forward player who sits right behind your striker, and his main job here is to make runs off and around the striker, which kind of makes your last man here not isolated as much as I had assumed. In most cases he becomes a last man for you when attacking. This is because if your striker isn't running past the defenders, he's either dropping off a little bit to get a pass from the attacking midfielders to then lay it off for your center forward. I did actually find myself having more chances and attempts on goal with the center forward rather than the striker, as you will see in this following move if I play it along here.
On paper, they do look pretty level, these two sides, in terms of ability.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure the two managers are aware of that, but that's when...
Good try, only just over the bar.
Next, moving on to the attacking midfielders, and what I found out more often than not in this formation here is they're not naturally wide players who will run down the wing for you, but rather they sort of stay in around the center circle when attacking and do sort of cutting to support the center forward and the striker, and this kind of leaves your wing area open for your fullbacks to exploit and run down the line. So if you're kind of looking to exploit or cross abuse, as they call it, you will find yourself more often than not actually crossing with your fullbacks. So having said that, you're kind of looking for a right back and a left back who've got decent crossing stats if you're gung-ho attacking here.
What a chance here. That's a great interception. Goes for goal.
So in general, when looking at the attacking shape of your forward attacking players, this formation is kind of more useful or suited to going through the middle, because it's where your players are kind of all clustered together. And let's take another situation here, turning defense into attack, and have a look at the general area again of the attacking midfielder. See that again they're just lacking in and around the center circle, whereas if this was a natural winger, they would be trying to sort of open up wide and sort of go behind the opponent's left midfield and around the left back, and this would naturally create too much space between him and the striker. Maybe this is because of how I chose to play here, because more than half the time I try and play a short passing game, so I kind of need my players in and around each other.
It will be a corner.
I'm going to go back and talk about the centre forward position once again, and by extension the attacking midfielders. The centre forward position in most cases, this is where you want your most creative player, your playmaker, basically a player you know how to play with in and out, sort of know his attributes, strengths and weaknesses, and he's kind of like the key player in between the opposition's midfield and his backline, because attacking wise this is the guy who's going to be feeding your striker or any of the attacking midfielders who will be making runs in from the midfield. And as you can see in this situation here, I had the option of either just laying it off for my striker or a back heel down the line for the attacking midfielder there. So basically that's the player you want creating havoc for the opposition's defense, with the attacking midfielder sort of giving him support from either side. And as you can see from the following situation here, straight from the goal kick is the one heading the ball to the CAM and quickly running into space to receive a ball from the striker. And unfortunately this resulted in a free kick, which I didn't make good use of.
Wall back, and the Wall obviously want to encroach because they may have to play it.
Okay, let's talk about the defending a bit more here, particularly the defensive midfielders. And these are the guys you want breaking down the opposition's attack and distributing the ball to the forward players. Here you kind of want two guys who are very good in protecting the back four and the gap between the fullback and the attacking midfielder, which can be exploited quite easily if one isn't careful. Primarily, you want your defensive midfielder to be the first guy defending the wide areas while one covers the more central role, and both of them do interchange roles depending on which wing the opposition is attacking from. I myself kind of see them as a link between the fullback and the attacking midfielder if your CAM is a bit slow in tracking back while defending. Now let's take a look at the fullbacks as an attacking asset and providing width for your team. As I mentioned earlier, the attacking midfielders don't always stay out wide on the wings. They're not naturally there, and half the time when you receive the ball there's always space for the fullback to make runs down the wing and give you that option to play the crossing game. And I did mention before that I found myself almost naturally having more runs down the wing and crossing opportunities with the fullbacks rather than the attacking midfielders, who are not naturally wide players in this formation. And as you can see in this case, if you take a look at the position of the attacking midfielders and notice how much space is open on for the fullback to make runs on either side, and obviously you kind of need, it's good to have pacey fullbacks who can make use of this type of play, and I'm quite sure there is a lot of them you can find who fit into this criteria.
Given the ball, and he did the rest there. Wonderful individual effort.
And the save is made by the goalkeeper.
So in conclusion, it's a balanced formation really, with the normal four at the back, and you got your 5 midfield players including the 2 central defensive midfielders. I actually find it very good defensively, and it kind of does shape up slightly like a 4-5-1 on defending, and you kind of crowd the midfield, and that can help in some way in overrunning the opponent in the middle of the pitch. But with the forward attacking midfielders and centre forward making runs forward when you're attacking, you can create havoc easily by essentially almost having more like a 4-2-4 formation, and also with the extension of the fullbacks coming in down the wings, so it can be devastating in attack as well. The main concerns really at the end of the day is the space between the CAM and the fullback, which can be exploited easily, and your defensive midfielders kind of have to work overtime to cover up that area. So you do find that most of the time they tire way more than all the other players on the pitch. Also, when going forward, the front line doesn't have the full width to give problems to the opponent on their wide defensive areas, so most of the time with the forwards, a kind of push to attacking down the middle. Your width only comes when you actually make the extra effort to push your CAMs out wide and bring in your fullbacks to attack as well down the wing. And some people may not like having the central striker kind of depending on the midfield running in to support him, as compared to having another striker side by side right next to each other. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't much of an issue really. Other than that, I would say this is not a bad formation at all. I mean, I would have no problems using this in the future. And in terms of overall balance in all areas of the pitch, I would give this a score of 8 out of 10. Anyway guys, this is coming to an end. Please leave your comments and thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out SimplyFifa.com, and stay tuned for more formation reviews in the next coming days from the other guys. Cheers and thanks a lot guys.